this season, where would you kind of assess the second unit chemistry, what you guys are doing? It has been very fluid with the lineups and combinations and stuff so far.
Still trying to figure it out, what lineups and rotations fit the best. Yeah, like you said, it's only the third game of the season, so it'll take a little bit of time. I know we do a lot with our rotations early on in the season. The coaches try to figure out what's the best lineups and matchups, so just trying to gain chemistry all around the board.
Steve talked about just needing more energy, especially in the fourth quarter, and he was kind of disappointed with that. Do you feel like, since you're kind of that anchor of that second unit, that you have maybe a little bit more responsibility being in your fourth season to just kind of set the tone for that group?
Somewhat just being a primary ball handler, trying to control the game a little bit, but also still making the right play. I think later in that fourth we had a younger lineup in there, so just finding ways to close the game. If anything, I know we had a big lead. So just trying to find ways to close the game, make the right decisions, continue to play our offense. And I think that's something that we'll gain over the course of the season.
One of the stories kind of coming out of the last game, and we didn't talk to you after, I think you took 5 shots or so, and maybe there's more attention on you this season, defensive attention. Took more shots tonight, obviously scored more. What collectively has this 3 games been like? I mean, have you felt extra defensive attention coming into the season?
Yeah, most definitely. But even if you look at our season earlier last year, the second lineup I think that we had was it took a little bit to get right, to get comfortable. It's only our third game. We have new players, and we're trying to get everybody acclimated. We got a lot of new guys. So, it just comes with time, especially the type of basketball we play, the type of style that we play. Trying to get everybody their roles, their positions, what they're good at, put them in positions to be successful. Yeah, I know I'll be a focal point, but, you still find ways to, dominate the second unit or whenever I'm out there on the court.
How are you just feeling just about your game right now?
I feel cool.
Jordan, do you feel like a defense kind of has to establish an identity the same way, you guys find a groove and put together some games offensively? It has to happen on both ends.
Our defense?
Yeah, that a defense takes time to kind of find its own identity too.
Yeah, everything does. Offensively, defensively, chemistry, rotations, personnel, everything. It's only the third game, so we'll figure it out as we go, and the coaches do a really good job of, putting us in situations to be successful. So, just try to win games early on in the season, and everything else will, kind of take care of itself.
How fun was that second quarter?
It was really fun. Yeah. Really fun. 89 points in the first half is crazy.
Obviously, you started a lot more last year, did more of the 6-man role in the playoffs. Is it a different responsibility? It's been 3 games, being more that catalyst, that main guy of that second unit, first guy off the bench, and kind of filling each other out with new players in that second unit as well?
It's not new to be the guy in the second unit, but we do have new players. So just trying to get the chemistry right. Some of these guys are coming from different teams where they run different offenses and different plays. And I think what makes us so special is that we're really unique offensively. And it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit to kind of get accustomed for anybody who comes over here. So, just trying to do a really good job of, trying to just teach the guys, give my input and insight on things that they don't know if they have questions. But our chemistry will come with repetitions and experience.
Steve, what do you think about the way the Kings took a 26-point deficit, transformed that into just a 4-point deficit, and just the furious nature of the finish?
Yeah, they did a good job getting back in the game, but we won. So I'm looking at the positive. We played at times brilliantly, and we couldn't sustain it. So it was closer than it should have been, but I give Sacramento a lot of credit. Mike's doing a great job with those guys. They're fighting. They're competing. They've had 3 close losses now to start the year. They've gotten a lot better, and we let our guard down, and they took advantage of it. But we got the win, and I'm pleased with that.
How much of your goal entering the fourth was to try to, give the youth the whole quarter and not have to bring the veterans back in?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a balance. I think Dante's injury kind of messed up, the rotation a little bit, and put a lot of pressure on JP as a playmaker. And we had Clay's minutes restriction, so we went to him to start the fourth to try to get a little more offense out there. But I think the ball just stopped moving. I mean, we had 24 assists for the game. I think 8 in the second half. Ball completely stopped moving. Not just during the stretch. When we were giving up the lead, but throughout the third quarter, I thought it was just one pass shot over and over again. So everything that happens during the game contributes to what happens later on. And, we had several bad possessions that, even with our first unit, that set a bad tone. So tough sledding for that second group, but they'll get better, and it's a good experience for them.
Hamstring for Dante?
Hamstring for Dante. He won't go to Phoenix, and we'll reevaluate for the road trip, or for Miami, and then the road trip after that.
Gotcha.
Steve, what are your thoughts going into the half with, a 18-point lead, but giving up 71 points to the Kings in the half?
Well, it was a furious pace in the first half. But they spread you out, and De'Aaron Fox, puts a lot of pressure on you. So the first half was, I thought we played really well. There were too many stretches where we fouled, and they get to the line, and now we have to play in the half court. So that was my biggest disappointment in the first half, was just the fouling. But otherwise, we had great flow, and the ball was moving. As I said, 16 assists first half. And then second half was a totally different story. We played very poorly and let our guard down, but, we'll learn from that.
There was a play in the early fourth. I mean, you called timeout right after. You were particularly upset about it. Was it something that happened on that
transition defense? Yeah. The main thing was just a lack of energy. You got a group of reserves out there. Those guys should be dying to be on the floor and flying around and playing with huge energy, and that was what I was upset about. It was a careless transition defense possession. There was no juice, no life to that group, and we're going to have to find what we're looking for in terms of energy and leadership. It's not entirely fair to them to put all those guys together, but it's a tough league. It's sink or swim, and you gotta figure it out.
To stay with the positive, Jordan did get going offensively more tonight with 24 points. What do you think about his game overall?
He was great. He got to the rim, knocked down some threes, got to the foul line, did a lot of really good things for us.
And then some more earlier minutes tonight for Moses Moody. What do you think about him and his game overall, too?
Well, Moses does a good job out there understanding spacing and, being in the right place, playing good defense. So Moses was fine. He didn't really get anything going offensively, but he was a good part of our first half, getting the lead and